Good evening. Thank you for joining me. I believe the federal minimum wage should be raised from $7.25, which it is currently at, to $15 an hour. $7.25 is not a livable wage. According to move.org, the cheapest city to live in the United States is Cleveland, Ohio, where one would have to earn about $12 an hour to maybe make ends meet. You'd have to put in some serious overtime to make that happen. $7.25 is simply not livable, especially if you are a single father or mother. In fact, according to the National Institute on Minority Health, health disparities, especially with minimum wage, play a major role in suicides. In fact, a $1 increase to the minimum wage would actually decrease those with a high school education or less, decrease suicides by 6%. However, those that have a college degree, there's nothing that links those together. Texas is actually the state with the second highest population in the country. Think about how many lives could be saved every year with suicides. And in Texas, minimum wage is still $7.25. And we have a poverty line sitting around 20% off the top of my head. With inflation, the consumer price index in March alone was 8%. Those sitting at minimum wage jobs, their lives have just gotten much harder. And those that are students may soon have to consider between putting in more hours at work or maybe going to school. They're going to have to take out some serious debt. We already know those with serious debt may never pay those off unless our current president can get rid of student debt. Being a wage slave is no way to live a life. Now, there are some cases against raising minimum wage. The first being there could be job loss. In American Samoa, actually, they raised minimum wage and it caused an economic disaster so bad, President Obama actually postponed them. In 2010, Joseph Savia and Richard Burkhauser estimated 1.3 million jobs could be lost if the minimum wage is raised federally to $9.30. As we know, COVID actually decimated the job market, and places are still short-staffed, such as restaurants and retail areas. These places are currently in a price war, if you will, to lure current workers on the market away. For example, Target is offering to pay for college education and pays at least $20 an hour to lure workers away from areas such as Walmart, for example. I don't believe. It is also argued that it wouldn't change poverty levels. When wage was increased from $5.15 to $7.15, only 15 workers gained from that, according to a 2012 Wilson review that claimed there had been no effect on poverty rates. While there may be no change to spending habits with those that do get price increases, because it is important to realize that many of those that do live in poverty have a high school education or less, such as immigrants. In Texas, for example, most of our poverty levels are sitting around the southern border, and a lot of those people most likely do not have a college education. Many people believe that actually increasing wages, I know myself, when I get a raise, I'm less likely to quit my job. I just got a raise this year, and I'm no longer thinking about quitting. It happens towards the end of every year. Before I get my review, I'm like, I'm going to quit. And then I get a raise, and I no longer feel like quitting. Especially adding on to that, getting a raise increases my productivity. I feel like I'm worth a raise once I get a raise. I love my job, and I love working. And workers are also found to less likely to call in sick after getting a livable wage. For example, you're more likely to come to work if you're getting $15 an hour versus $7.25. And that workers less likely to call in sick was according to a 2012 study. And furthermore, increasing wage also benefits the economy. This does not kill jobs. According to economists, especially in retail and restaurants, demand would grow because those people that were currently getting minimum wage, as we previously talked about, like to spend money, and increasing the wage increases people more likely to spend money and put that back into the economy. A $2 raise would actually increase earnings by $40 billion and boost our GDP tremendously, which we currently need after recovering from COVID and a current recession. It would also benefit low wage workers and prompt spending, and that puts money back into businesses, especially mom and pops that need the money right now. So to recap, minimum wage workers are currently suffering, and especially with the COVID going on right now, or I guess it's over with TSA no longer mandating masks. There's an anti-work culture going around where people refuse to work. So would it really be so bad if we were to increase wages to at least $15 an hour and decrease suicides by 6%?